with Skulls and Shadow.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Off the Top podcast tonight. We are going to be doing our Survivor Series predictions. I am joined by my good friend Shadow.
What's going on, guys? Sorry if I sound a little muffled tonight. I'm under the weather, but I want to do the show, so here we are.
Hopefully, we'll be joined by Jared shortly. I have no clue where he is, so that's a pretty good start to the show. So, um,
Yes, it is.
it's usually the case, so we're kind of used to it. But what do you think of the show coming up, Shadow?
I think it's a pretty decent card, best on best kind of the brands right now. Uh, it's not like a Survivor Series past, it's not all traditional matches, but I feel like this is now the new norm for when it comes to Survivor Series, and I look forward to the champion versus champion matches.
Yeah, I
Really
mean,
kind of gives you bragging rights on who's the better card champion, etc.
I was gonna say they kind of turned it into like almost like bragging rights. That pay per view that they had the 1 year where it is the brand versus
Right.
brand. There are only 6 matches on the card. That is a little bit low for me. Normally I
That gotta
do
be the
I
lowest Survivor Series card, no?
yeah. I mean there are only essentially 6 different titles that they have. Uh,
Right.
I mean they have 12 different titles, but 6 if you count the same title on both brands. So that's why it does seem like it is a little. They do have more belts than what they have, because you do have 2 tag belts, 2 mid card belts, 2 championship belts, 2 women's belts, and then they throw in the traditional 5-on-5 matches.
Hmm. I still think they should have went the way the storyline has been panning out. I really think the New Day versus the Bloodline would have made the most sense here, as opposed to Big E versus Roman.
Yeah,
But but then who
that's
do you
hard because
have?
it's three. It's only 3 versus 3.
Right, but it's still you could have added in a couple others, but you don't know, right? You could have, should have, probably not. But even a 3-on-3 match still would have been. Everybody wants to see it, especially since the Usos and the New Day have such great chemistry, and that's undeniable. I don't care who you are, you
Yeah,
can't
that's
deny that those 4 men, 5 men have great in-ring chemistry.
every time they put a match on, you know it's going to be a banger.
Whether it's promos, matches, it's just natural chemistry, and that's something you love to see in today's world.
So let's actually start with the tag team match between RK Bro and the Usos. Um, I'm actually intrigued to see this because I don't know if I've seen Riddle go against the Usos or even Randy Orton. To be honest, like
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either. I mean, I'm
it's
sure it has happened, maybe on house shows, but
in like a 6 man
maybe
match. I mean,
yeah, but nothing like we're about to see on Sunday here.
yeah, I mean we saw Riddle versus we saw them match up on this past Monday, but nothing like too crazy because it really wasn't a full fledged match 2-on-2. Like a regular tag match. So you did have Seth Rollins and Big E involved in it, um, which was a little bit weird having a Raw competitor team with the SmackDown tag champs. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. We know WWE likes to do some stupid shit sometimes.
Speaking of stupid shit, I know this isn't really anything of interest, but it does involve one of the two of the competitors on Sunday. I went back to Crown Jewel. Apparently, Randy had also wanted to ride a camel to the ring, but Vince said no because it's not something Randy's character would do.
Right, I did see that. Um, that
I'm a
actually,
little disappointed in that, considering the whole angle they're going with this tag team. But
I mean, it is pretty interesting. Because Randy is like the calm and collected one of the group, and Riddle is the wild and crazy one. Um, so it does make sense that Riddle would have rode the camel and Randy didn't. But it is disappointing to know that he actually wanted to and they wouldn't let him.
it very much is. But I digress. Um, but yeah, no, this should be. See, I didn't really know how well. Like, I'm still mind blowing that Randy Orton's a tag team wrestler right now. I feel like he's better single, but he's doing really well with Riddle, and it's really good. Uh, when it comes to the Usos, though, I think the edge goes to them just because you want the heels to go over in this sense in this kind of match, in my opinion, and it kind of gives more of I want to say more of an interesting story to the Riddle and Orton complex going against an actual tag team.
Right. Very true. Thank you, Charlie, for the follow. I definitely will hydrate. I do have some drink right here, so I appreciate that.
What you sipping on tonight, bud?
I am actually sipping on something you haven't tried yet. So,
Oh, okay. So he's drinking Mountain Dew Snap, ladies and gentlemen. I am.
I'm intrigued because, like you were saying, Randy Orton really has only faced off against. Oh man, I forgot what time it was. Um, Faced off against opponents that had not really been a true tag team. They've only faced off against Orton
Like
and
Omos
Omos,
and
really.
AJ.
So
Yeah.
it is very upsetting, so to speak, that they haven't really faced a true tag team for the belts. Um, so intrigued to see how this match would go, and maybe it would see what's going to happen down the line with the RK Bro.
Yeah, like I said, it's they haven't faced a real tag team yet, so that's why I'm giving the edge to the Usos when it comes to this match. Now, doesn't necessarily mean the Usos are going to win, but why are you going to make the Usos look weak to throw them together tag team? Yes, they're the champions on Raw, but it just doesn't make sense to make the Usos look weak to them.
Are they still considered a thrown together tag team with as long as they've been together?
Uh, no, but yes, in my opinion, anyhow, right? Like it's they're neither of them are traditional tag team wrestlers either.
Yeah, I could see that. I do like them together as a team. They do have a weird chemistry between
It's
the
an
two.
interesting concept. Yeah, it is really. It is,
Um,
but it's intriguing. It makes you tune in, right? Because you never know what's going to happen.
that's one of the few.
Randy Orton could
That's
just
one of the few reasons to tune in. They don't give you a lot of
Orton
those
can just
lately.
RKO Riddle for no reason, and it'd be fine. They'll be back together next Monday, and they'll be laughing about it.
I mean, he
So
has. So,
exactly my point.
um, but yeah, I have a feeling that the Usos are going to win this one as well. So I'm going to agree with you on that. Next, let's head over to the United States champion Damian Priest going off against Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental champion. What's your thoughts on this one, Shadow? We'll start off with you.
Oh man, no.
But you're not ready for this?
It's gonna be a really good. I think this has potential to be one of the top three match. Like I know there's only 6 matches, but this could be potentially the top three of the night because you have two combatants in this ring that both have a quote unquote strong style, if you will, and you bring Shinsuke's actual strong style and what Damien does in the ring. I really think they're going to mix well, and it's just going to be an all around. I don't want to say 5 star because I'm not Meltzer, but it's going to be a high starred match, in my opinion. It's not no. Oh well, these guys are on. You got to go. It's
Well,
going to be an intriguing matchup.
to be fair, Meltzer doesn't like to give 5 stars to WWE, and everybody knows it. So,
No, right, but
um,
I'm not handing out the 5 stars because I just think that this has potential to be a really good match. Just
this
their styles complement each other.
this is the match I'm looking most forward to
Well,
because
you're also a Damian Priest fan yourself, aren't you?
I
Not?
I love Damian Priest. I've loved him from NXT. I wish I would have followed him more in the Indies before he came here, but I've loved his character growth that he's had from when he first came up here. They've actually protected him very well. They've built him strong. I love his new two personality gimmick where if something pisses it off, he goes to the dark side. I just love everything they've done with him. It is the one person that I would say that has come up from NXT within the last 6 to 9 months that they've built correctly, and
Yeah, they haven't ruined him,
and
which is nice.
and he will win this match because they're not going to have him lose his first match to somebody on the main card when it's not a title shot. That's my opinion on it because
Right.
he is still
And
yet to lose.
you know what? I think and I mean this with all due respect to everybody that was involved in this Mania match, but I think the test for Damien was when they paired him with Bad Bunny, and he passed it with flying colors. He went to work and he did what he had to do, and that match came out great. You know, he's seen Bad Bunny look really good too, but Damien didn't cry about it. He went to work and did his thing, and I think this is his payoff for it now.
Uh, to be fair, Bad Bunny wasn't wasn't half bad.
No, no, he wasn't. But any other wrestler, you get paired with a celebrity guest, you kind of like, oh man, why me, right?
Right.
So for Damien just to put his head down, dig his heels in, and just do what he had to do, I think it really earned him a lot of respect in the back, thus making him have the position he is now. Because he's had some fairly good feuds over the last few months too. So
Yeah, he's had some big matches too. He fought Jeff Hardy. He's fought in Sheamus, Drew McIntyre. So he's had some good competition since he's come up, and they've actually built him perfectly, in my opinion. And I just don't want to see them ruin that yet. You know, like I know that's what they're known for. They always do what they need to do, and then they ruin the person, so to speak, like everybody says they do. But this is one person that you can't really complain about. Like his new music fits him. It's just it everything is gone according to plan, so to speak.
yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna give it to Damien for the win on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree on that one. Now, this is the match that I really don't care about as much out of the six matches. Um, the women's match. We've seen Charlotte versus Becky before. I mean, I know there's bad blood between them, but what's happened recently in regards to the belt exchange, which was another dumb idea. Um,
Very also well documented,
but
unfortunately.
I, I know they're going to give them a good 15 to 18 minutes probably to go because it is only six matches on the card. I don't think there's a pre-show match, so the pre-show is only supposed to be a half hour long, so it's not that bad. But I mean, no put on a good match. It's just not the one that I'm looking forward to the most. You know, I know.
I'm basically with you there. It's all played out. We've seen it many times. It
Now,
doesn't matter how you twist it. Doesn't matter how you bend it. It's still Becky Charlotte. It's still gonna be it's gonna be a good match, like technicality wise. But nobody is invested into this story anymore.
and I think they're going to surprise people and have Charlotte win when everybody wants Becky to win.
Very well, good. But I wouldn't necessarily be upset with that. But again, I don't care about the outcome. Don't care about the story. It's dumb.
Yeah, they need to just worry about going on to opponents for the belt itself.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win this one? Even though you don't really care.
Oh, I just said I think Charlotte as well. Like I feel like it's the move to make to get more heat. She's the heel. You need some heat. Becky's really baby faced all of a sudden again, which is awkward because she came back as a heel.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I don't know. She's like that tweener that goes back and forth because she
yeah,
still says
yeah, that's the
she
point
still
though, right?
says heel things and still does stuff, but
In this match, she's the heel, but go like
mm-hmm.
or the baby face, excuse me. But going back to Raw to go against Liv, she's back to the heel because there's no way you can say Liv's the heel in that situation. So yeah. So for not caring, it's gonna be Charlotte. Plain and simple.
Now we're gonna go to the last of the title for title, well, title versus title matches with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns going up against the WWE Champion Big E. Um, this is a match that I am very excited to watch. I'm curious to see how it's gonna go. You know, Roman can bring it. You know, Big E can bring it. I don't remember the last time I've seen them go one on one.
I don't think
So
they have.
I don't know. And the whole story line was that they started this off with that Roman said Big E was running away to Raw, that he didn't want to challenge him, so he went after Lashley. So there's been heat building since he's actually won the belt. So I'm actually intrigued to see how they play out the storyline within the match, especially with Heyman being at ringside.
I just don't know how you do this properly because on one hand you have Roman who's been undefeated for over a year now. You were saying, I think,
Almost 2 years. The last time he
so
was
almost 2 years.
the last time he was pinned was in December of 2019, when he was pinned in the match versus Baron Corbin, which I believe was the match where they doused him in dog food.
Right. And then the last loss that Roman suffered was actually against Woods, technically, this past week there. That's his first televised loss
That is his
in a
first
year.
televised loss. Um, However, he has lost elsewhere, but that is
Right.
his first televised loss, and he still has yet to be pinned. So the
Yes.
loss
The
doesn't.
pinfall thing is the thing.
Right, the pinfall thing is
And
the big thing.
I'm pretty sure by now WWE is well aware of this. Um,
Oh, they are.
and and the fact that you have Big E being so built so strong, I don't see this one ending with a clear winner because you can't kill momentum on either side. I think there's an outside interference of some sort, not by the Usos. I mean, we are coming up to a 25th anniversary on Sunday. Doubt it's him, but I feel like
Yeah,
something to do
too
with him.
too bad he's in Australia.
So they say. It's not hard. We've seen it before.
Yeah, we have. We definitely have. Um, I mean, technically, Brock Lesnar is still suspended, and he
Yep.
has said he was going to be purchasing a ticket to go to the what show is that? The December 3rd SmackDown, I believe.
Okay.
But you never know. He could be the one to
You
show up
don't know who's gonna.
and cause the
I,
interference.
I am. I just don't have a clear cut winner. I think this ends in a no contest.
I
I feel
think they're
like they
gonna.
beat the crap out of each other, and it's just a double draw.
I think they're gonna have Roman win over Big E, and I don't think it's gonna hurt Big E at all. Um, I think it's gonna take multiple Superman punches, multiple spears, and I feel that there will be some interference that or a distraction that causes Big E to Roman to win, but I feel Roman's gonna get the win on this one.
Yeah. Well, I just don't have a clear winner for this one. So that's my theory here. But if I have to pick, I'll probably say Roman because, like you said, it's just he's the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the new Cena. He's the new face. So if it's not Roman, it's just gonna be a draw. Unfortunately, there's just no. I don't see Biggie winning, which sucks. But at the same time, like you said, it doesn't hurt either or.
Yeah, and
Well, it does
it
hurt
doesn't
Roman to lose,
it would
but
hurt
it
Roman
doesn't
to
hurt
lose.
Biggie to lose.
Right, it would hurt Roman to lose more than it would help Big E to win, in my opinion. Um, now the last two that we have left are the traditional 5-on-5. Let's start off with the women, um, and let's go through the competitors. So on the SmackDown side, we have Sasha Banks, Shotzi, Shayna Baszler, Natalia, and the newest addition that was just added today on Twitter, Tony Storm, going against
Interesting.
Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina. What's your thoughts?
I think Raw is going to win. I think there's a lot of hostility on the SmackDown side, and I think the too many combustible elements on SmackDown. So I truly believe Raw is going to walk out the winner here.
Now, I kind of like. I've been following different people on Twitter, and they're saying that there should be a stipulation in these matches that something happens. Um, the main person that I've been following is Xavier Woods. He's been trying to petition to WWE to do something, and I kind of like what he's come up with recently. It's something similar to what I've been saying over the last couple years about Survivor Series, that this match should matter. Something like whichever brand wins, something should happen. But Woods has been saying that whichever team wins the 5-on-5, those five competitors face off in a fatal five-way elimination match, and the first person to get eliminated gets the 26th spot, second person 27th, so on, and the winner gets the 30th spot in the Rumble. And then the losing team would do the same thing for spots 1 through 5. I
Yeah, I've seen him
I,
doing it. I think
I think that's genius.
it is. It really is. I mean, who knows? Maybe next year that'll happen. Woods has been a very big influencer, especially with bringing back the King of the Ring tournament. So, um, who knows? I mean, it's not a bad idea because then you know who the last five and the starting five are, and then you have your room for your surprises and random entrances.
Right. I mean, I would love for them to not have that, but you know, whatever gives a little bit more intrigue to the matches, to the match itself.
I mean, I don't mind a surprise or two in the Rumble, right? It's always
The
fun. Do I
surprises
want
the
the
best.
legends back? No.
The surprises are the best part, but so is not knowing when anybody's coming out. So
Or to go on Woods' idea, the captain of the losing team goes number one, and the captain of the winning team goes number 30.
or the first person out from the losing team
Or
gets
whoever
one,
was eliminated. Yeah,
and the winner gets 30. Like that's what I was saying.
yeah, that would be okay too.
Um, for the women's match, I actually think SmackDown is going to win this one. Um, just because, uh, you know, looking at it again. No, because I mean
Just a lot of combustible elements on SmackDown
the
though
only
right now.
two that are really fighting are Sasha and Shotzi,
Yes,
and
but
they'll take it out on
Baszler
each
is a
other.
wild card.
They'll take it out on each other this Friday night. Um, I just think the momentum, looking at the names on Raw side, I think the momentum with Liv, it's gonna have her be the final person and win it to build up her match against Becky Lynch for the title.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense, right? You want to have her going with the most possible
Momentum against
momentum. Yeah.
right. And if Charlotte beats Becky, puts Becky down a notch, it's like it sets up for the perfect storm for then Becky versus
It
Liv.
kind of gives you the what if factor.
Right, and then Becky destroys Liv Morgan because you know that's what they'll do.
Right, but for a brief moment, it suspends your belief that Liv could actually win,
Right.
which I hope she does. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think
Oh,
she deserves it,
I don't
but
think any of the fans would mind seeing that. Like people have been
even if
waiting.
she's just a transitional champion, she deserves to wear the belt.
Yeah, she deserves it for everything she's done, in my opinion. Like she's gotten so much better. She's gotten better on the mic. She's gotten better in the ring. She's doing all these different moves. Like she's just building her character, and it's actually making for some interesting TV.
Yeah, that is for sure. You know, there was a time where we also thought she was going to be teamed up with him for a while there, but that never came to
Well, because
fruition.
that made sense, and that's why they didn't do it.
Right.
But yeah, I think Raw can win that one. And then we go to the men's one. So for the Raw side, we have Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. Versus on SmackDown, you have Drew McIntyre, Xavier Woods, Jeff Hardy, Happy Corbin, and one to be named later.
Who's the one to be named later though?
I don't know. It's probably gonna be Madcap Moss because it's WWE. They're gonna do something stupid like that. I figured they were gonna leave the one spot for SmackDown and have it be a returning uh, Bailey or Asuka. That's what I thought they were gonna do. Because Asuka's
Yeah.
healed. Um, Bailey's I don't know if Bailey's healed yet. She's only been out since June. It's only been 5 months, and she was projected to be out at least 7 to 9. But she's going everywhere. She's been in San Francisco at the NFL games. Like she's on the Titantron over there. Like she's doing all these different things. So I thought they might have been bringing her back. So I don't know who. I don't even know who it could be for SmackDown. There's really no one that's injured
Yeah, I don't know.
unless it is Sheamus or Ridge Holland. One of those two.
I mean, isn't Elias supposed to be coming back at some point?
I don't even know what happened with Elias. He was supposed to
Yeah,
go.
I don't know what happened there. I think something momentum killed somewhere or something. I don't know. The big net stopped, right? So we don't know.
Yeah, they probably were like,
But
"Oh, this is boring. Turn it off. That's enough."
it's either this is boring or they realized they were going the road of the fiend and they don't want to. Anyways, we're not going into that. Yeah, I don't know who it could be. Really, I don't.
Regardless of who it is, though, I think SmackDown's going to win this because of Drew McIntyre and Xavier Woods. Honestly, I think those two are going to be the final two, and they're going to have
What's the
Xavier,
Raw team again?
Balor, Owens, Rollins, Theory, and Lashley. I think there's just too much.
Yeah, there's too. See, you want to talk about combustible elements?
Right,
Raw men's roster, Jesus.
right. Especially with Kevin
Yeah,
Owens going against Balor last week, beating him. He's feuding with Seth Rollins right now. Um, Theory's going to do something to annoy KO, and he's going to probably give him a stunner.
he's gonna run around the ring taking selfies. Yeah. that
So,
that gimmick is stupid. I feel bad for Theory, but
hey, he's living his best life. He's having fun. I actually think it's. I mean, he's getting to take pictures with all these people. He's doing it. He's posting on Twitter. He's getting it involved. So, I mean, it's good that they're allowing him to do like using things like that. It seems that they're being a little bit more open to things on Twitter and everything else. So,
I mean, they really don't have much. I mean, Twitter writes better stories than have their creative teams. So
well, that is true.
that's no, that's not really a shot. It's just truth.
I could write stories, half stories better than their team. Hell, I
I'm
probably
sure our
have.
Discord could write. I'm sure our Discord has better. I think I've read better fan fiction in our Discord than I've seen over the past few months. But anyways, yeah, Raw's way too feudy, if you will, for this. So in SmackDown, there's not really anybody feuding, right, on the men's part. So
Yeah, not really. I mean, they've all pretty much stayed apart from each other. So the only one that was really feuding was Zayn, and he's the one that was kicked out.
you think we this is the last big pay per view we see Kevin Owens at?
Oh no, 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 no. You still have day one, which is in on January 1st, and then you're
Yeah,
still
but
gonna
isn't his contract
end of January.
ending in December?
No,
Oh, end of January.
end of
Okay.
January. So you'll probably see him in the Rumble as well, and that'll probably be his last
Huh.
big thing, unless he resigns and he wins the Rumble.
Right. But I do like how he keeps alluding, like the way the story's been going with him, the way he's talking about
Everything,
leaving and being the guy, and
whether it's 3 months or 3 years,
right,
and then Big E bringing up Mount Rushmore, which I thought was
right.
hilarious.
There's just a lot of Easter eggs lately with Kevin Owens, which is nice. I know maybe that's not Vince's idea, maybe that's somebody else's, but it's nice to see wrestlers being able to kind of freely speak in WWE, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain people that can. It's just whether they allow them to. Like, there's people like everybody has the ability to do it. Is whether they
Right.
trust
We've
them
been seeing it for
enough.
years, right?
It's whether they trust them enough to do it. And within WWE, there is not a lot of trust with people for that.
I think Vince is leading up on it, or whoever is in charge is leading up on it because of how. And I'm not. This isn't an AEW versus WWE thing. So if you're listening, it's not that. But
Just
you look at how
how they've been.
AEW character wrestlers shoot their promos. I think Vince is looking at it and saying, maybe we could try it and see how real we can get again.
I mean, there's speculation that NXT is going to be going to TV 14 rating. Um, so they might be trying to get a little more
Which it
edgier.
could be right to be able to test it out down there to see how it works and then bring it back up to the main
Right.
roster and
I
kind
mean,
of.
you could definitely do that on NXT because it is on USA. Fox is not gonna
Mm-hmm.
want that on SmackDown. So if anything, that could be something that would translate over to Raw, and Raw is going to be like the edgier brand, and there's more stuff that they get
Yeah, but
away
if
with over
you
there.
right, but if you go back to the early 2000s, that's how it was. Raw SmackDown was taped anyways back then, so Raw was kind of always the edgy show. Oh, what's gonna happen? And then SmackDown was just kind of where the matches happened, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Or The Rock was cutting promos on Michael Cole, like. But that's how I always remember it. Like SmackDown wasn't edgy in that sense back then either. It was always Raw. And then when SmackDown went live again, that's when they became edgy, edgier, not edgy, but edgier,
Right.
right? Like you had Don Marie and all. So, would I personally like to see an Attitude Era 2.0 kind of happen? Yes, because I think it's the right time to do it. But at the same time, it's not the same world it was 20 years ago. So jokes that flew back then might not hit home now.
Right.
But that's fine. There's other ways you can be edgy without making homophobic slurs or blackface or stuff like that that's happened in the past.
And
You
I
know what
think
I
and I
mean?
think that's
Like
what
it can happen.
they need to try and ease into it, and that's why I think they want to do NXT first and test it out down there before they do anything else.
Well, they've been loosening up with the language, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
when you're
like I
when you're
said.
watching a promo that's getting deep and you hear Lesnar or Reigns call each other a bitch or
Right.
something, it's like whoa, he just said that and it draws you into their promo.
Right, and it's more so on, like I said, USA than it is on Fox, because Fox has
Right,
more regulations than USA does.
right. So I don't know. At the end of the day, you know, the flagship show has to go one way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And SmackDown, while it's a better quality as of late, they have to abide by what Fox says, which sucks. But you can also move the edge of your talent to Raw for that matter, and have you
Right,
know
they
the
need to
laid back PG guys on SmackDown.
change the way that they do the draft too. Like it needs to be right after
It needs to go
WrestleMania.
back.
It needs to go back to being like right after WrestleMania.
I truly believe they need an off season per se, where after WrestleMania, it's usually the first weekend in April, typically.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you go from right after Mania, you have your go home show to close out the weekend at Raw. Okay, sure. But then Raw is the season finale. And then you take a 3 week break, let wrestlers kind of, do their thing, and then come back beginning of May and start your whole new season again.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Just a 3 week break,
I know, but
especially if
they
they're planning to
signed.
return to the 365 schedule, though.
Yeah, but they signed on to deals to broadcast live every week, 52 weeks a year, and I mean,
Well, I understand that.
I
I'm
understand what you're
just,
saying. Maybe they tape the shows ahead of time and give them the break that way. But
uh,
then you risk the chance of spoilers getting out there and everything else.
right.
So
Or, yeah, I don't know. There's many ways I can sit here and talk about this for hours, right? But at the end of the day, you're right. They should do the draft maybe not the night after Mania, but like the Monday after Mania. Because the night after Mania, you don't want that crowd being a part of a draft. No shot.
I mean, you kind of want to have it as close to Mania as you possibly can, because
Yeah.
you're gonna want to reset feuds after Mania. You're gonna want to do things like that. So it makes sense to have it right after Mania. Um, but they need to go. They need to cut down on their pay per view schedule for one. Um, and they've already started doing that. They
Well, they got
eliminated.
themselves in a bind a few years back. They really got themselves in a bind when they did the Raw vs. SmackDown stuff back in the late 2000s there, where every month that's what caught them into the schedule they're in now for pay-per-view, and they just can't break it. But now, like you said, they're cutting down.
I
To me
mean,
personally, a perfect number for pay-per-views is 5, 6 a year.
no,
One every 2 months is fine.
no. You have the big four,
Right.
which are now Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. And then you have two or three other little ones to help set up the big feuds at those pay per views.
So essentially, you're saying the exact same thing I am, just one more.
Well, I mean, they gotta
So I
get
said 6. You just said 7,
you gotta
right?
get rid of the
But
gimmick. You get rid of the gimmick pay per views. So you get rid of Elimination Chamber. You get rid of Hell in a Cell.
Extreme Rules has to go too.
You get rid of Extreme Rules. You get rid of TLC. So that right there,
Extreme Rules makes no sense when nothing is extreme about it anymore. It's just a name.
you go from 12 pay per views to 8 right there,
Right.
and that's
The Hell in a Cell isn't as special anymore either.
right.
Like,
You make Hell in
remember
a
when that was the feud ender? Like, for high profile feuds, that was the feud ender.
mm-hmm.
And you see that with Edge's promo with Rollins. Like, the way he delivered that he wants to fight him in Hell in a Cell, that's how it should be. That's how special Hell in a Cell should be. Not, oh, well, here's the pay per view, but only 2 matches are going to be inside it. If you're going to name a pay per view Hell in a Cell, every match should be in it. Same with Elimination Chamber. Every match should be in it. I don't care.
But
That
you can't do every match in the Elimination Chamber. Like that doesn't make sense. Every match is going to be a 6 person match.
no. Just don't raise the chamber. Like everybody just fights. Like there's no rules inside that chamber for the night.
I kind of like Elimination Chamber, just being no like specific matches, but they need to just have that to set up stuff for like WrestleMania and not be the pay per view name. Just have those matches on a card. But
If you want to keep the chamber gimmick, you could also introduce it at Survivor Series.
I mean, I would do more war games than I would survive than the Chamber.
Yeah, see, I really wish that would have come to main roster.
I mean,
I had high hopes for that.
I like it on NXT though. It's done its job down there, but it is getting to the point where it does need to come up to the main roster, and
It has done its job down there, but look who was involved in like every one of them.
right, this is the first one without them, and they're not even here anymore.
It's the first one without them, but it's also, well, there's one left, right?
Yeah,
But or no, two. Excuse me, two technically. Um, but like, it's not just that; it's just the wrestlers you had involved in the war games. Like they're going with the younger breed, kind of like it's like the AHL now, right? Like when it comes to NHL, NHL is the WWE, and NXT is like the AHL. I don't mind that, but like, how are you gonna throw like war games? Is kind of like a veteran thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just that's how I seen it. I mean, you might as well just do Ready to Rumble style cage at this point for NXT.
I want the 3 tier cage. I want that cage back. I've always liked that 3 tier
I mean,
cage.
it's only been on what, one pay per view?
It was only on one pay per view. It was
It's
in
been one pay
W.
per view,
It was in
and it's still
WCW.
talked about 20 some years later.
But I've always liked that 3-tier cage. David Arquette.
And it's still talked about 20 some years later, man. Like,
But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. We went through the 6 matches. Based off of our results and our predictions, we have SmackDown winning the night 4-2. Not that it means anything, but just a little tidbit on it. Any final thoughts, Shadow?
um, well, we'll switch gears here for a quick second. What did you think? Here's a nice segue into that. Switching gears. What did you think of Full Gear from what me and you watched?
Why are we even talking about that here?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't. It's just I just want okay, just the main event. Just we'll talk about that and then that'll be it.
um, I enjoyed the show. From what I've seen, I only saw, I believe, it was either the last 4 or 5 matches. Um, the main event was great. The one thing that I didn't like about it was that he didn't kick out of the one-winged angel. Um, but
Right.
I mean,
But
but
it makes sense now though, considering what we found out afterwards, to why it wasn't really attempted.
but it was. He was on his shoulders and he got out of it.
Wait, how many times he did it? Once or twice? I don't really remember.
He tried to do it twice and he was able to get out of it both times. One time reversing it into his own one-winged angel.
The reason I asked about this in the main event specifically is, do you agree that? And again, this isn't a company versus company thing, but I just like the fact that AEW slow burned this feud to the point where it got to having a natural. I mean, you had to be stupid not to see Cowboy winning, but
I mean, they only
or Hangman winning, but
he
you know what I
should
mean. Like the slow burn was
he
just
should have
perfect for
won.
me.
He should have won 6 months ago. And the only reason he didn't is because he was leaving off TV for a couple months.
Okay, but they still did even with the time off. They made
Yeah,
it
no,
well. Is my point.
I understand that, but they like it was a little bit ruined in my eyes because you had the in between stuff. Like the entire thing they were building up to was Hangman versus Omega, and then all of a sudden now you have other people fighting Omega for the title. Like it just makes everything else that's happening between that unbelievable, like not believable. Like
Yeah, okay, yeah,
how did you
that's fair.
think that um, Daniel Bryan would beat him, like, or that whoever else he fought for the title would beat him. Like, it was like how they backed themselves into a corner with certain things, and they just
Right.
get lucky coming out of it. Like everything, like some things they just end up with lucky. Like the whole thing with Christian Cage, where he fought for the Impact belt and then lost on the other. Like it just they back themselves into a corner, and sometimes they just step in shit and get lucky. He should have won it. He should have won it months ago. They got lucky that they planned everything, but it they got lucky that the fans were still so invested in it, and that was the
Well,
thing.
I mean, it's AEW right now, a lot of fans. But anyhow,
No, no, no,
switching out of
no, no, no,
this
no, no,
topic.
no, no, no. Not a lot of fans. It's the same diehard fans. Their numbers are not going up. They didn't even draw 1 million viewers this week on Wednesday. The show
Wow.
after a pay per view. So it's not this. They're not increasing their numbers. They are having their diehard fans, which are the ones that get behind them, but they're not doing what they were trying to do and expand it. CM Punk coming in has been a failure. He had a great first night with the increase in viewers, but what has happened on Rampage? They don't even break 600 viewers. They're lucky if they're breaking 500. Dynamite is
Fair
not even
enough. Fair enough.
breaking is barely getting close to 1 million again. Like and it's just they need to do
Are
something
we just
different.
seeing? Are we between every company? Are we just seeing maybe wrestling becoming a fad again, and not
Yes,
really
yes, we are.
where people really care to?
Wrestling is phasing out. People are phasing away from wrestling. There's nothing compelling going on between either brands that are drawing new people in. They're keeping the same people and they're not losing enough to hurt them. but they're not bringing new people in. Raw. That's why, like, as you see, like, Raw is down to its
That
lowest
really
numbers.
sucks overall. You know,
Right. Raw is down to it. A couple weeks ago, Raw had its third lowest viewership in the history of Raw. In 30 plus years, they had their third lowest viewership. But you have to remember, when wrestling was big in the late 90s, they were drawing 10 million viewers. Now, with streaming, with DVR, with everything else, the
yeah, they're not
number,
getting the true sense
you're
anymore.
not getting a true number. Like, and then NFL, they're drawing on, like, on Monday Night Football, they're drawing on average 30 something million viewers across their 7 channels it's on. It's not on one channel anymore, so they're not getting a true number on one channel. It's on 7 different channels.
Yeah, that's like NHL, right? Like,
And they're doing so, like, AEW fans and AEW is so focused on ratings and the numbers when they're not even accurate. Even Nielsen has says the system is so outdated. It needs to be revamped. And we won't know what the true numbers are of these other things until that is. I've gotten into AEW more over the last 6 to 9 months. I enjoy watching the shows. I don't watch Dynamite live. I don't watch Rampage live, but I record them and then I go back and watch them later. I am also not somebody that affects the ratings. I'm not on a Nielsen ratings thing, so it doesn't matter to me. But people that are
yeah,
on a Nielsen, they might not be even watching Dynamite live. They might be watching other things that are on Wednesdays, so it hurts. But it's just AEW to me has they've grown. They have their diehard fans, they have their fan base, and it doesn't seem like they're doing much to try and improve it. They're bringing in WWE people. Then they're getting once
yeah.
the aura
WCW
of them
2.0. No matter how you try to paint it.
once they come in, once that aura of them coming in is you're losing those fans because you're not doing anything with those wrestlers. You're not putting them in compelling storylines. Like you're using them for the popping and that's it.
AEW when it first started, to me, I liked it because you had guys like Sammy Guevara and all of them, not guys you ever really heard of, if you will, like MJF. And I figured, cool, this is going to be a complete rival kind of to WWE because WWE has its established stars and AEW is going to have its up and coming guys. And then it's slowly, oh, well, this guy's a free agent. Now we're buying him in. Oh, this guy's a free agent. We're buying him in. 3 or 4, fine. But the fact that you're now burying your homegrown talent, well, not homegrown, but homegrown talent, kind of annoys me.
So let me see, because I've been keeping track of this
Right, you
since
have.
last year.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the amount of numbers that they're bringing in, they're kind of ruining. Like the inner circle is huge, and now like that was good for AEW. That's a good faction to have, but
So
against people from AEW, and now you have them feuding with I don't even know who they're feuding with, but
so since January of last year, WWE has either released or let contracts expire of 127 different wrestlers.
right.
Over that time frame, AEW has signed 20 of them. It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but
But it
when
is
you already have a roster of 60 wrestlers,
your established vets. Yeah,
60 to 70 wrestlers that you have built up, that you're putting out there, you're putting them on Dark, you're putting them on Elevation, you're putting them on Dynamite, and you're bringing 20 new people in. Where is that time? Where are you taking that time from? You're taking it from the people that you have already established. And all you're doing is hurting the people that you've already built up. Yes, you added an extra
the two
show.
that they
It's 1 hour. You have three
the
matches
two
on
that
it.
they bought in though, the two veterans they bought in, Paul White and Mark Henry. I thought they were going to be like, oh my god, these guys are going to be doing wrestling crap. But you know what? I'll give them credit there. They've kept them off the TV
Yeah, but
in the sense of
Mark
action wise.
Henry was supposed to be brought in as a commentator for Rampage. He's now doing a promo before the main event. and you have Chris Jericho on commentary. So you're like, what is Jericho doing on
And CM
commentary?
Punk,
And see,
and
yeah, like you're
yeah,
rotating a wrestler in and out. Like I don't know. It's just
it is what it
you've
is,
seen
right?
the same
At the end of the day.
feuds. You've seen the same feuds over the last 6 months. You've seen Christian Cage with Jurassic Express against the Super Click. Like,
And the thing that pisses me off with the Jurassic Express is now you have Christian Cage with them. Where the hell is Michael Stunt? Like you barely see him now, and he was a big part of them for the first year of AEW.
yeah,
Like where'd he go?
I just feel like
I understand that Jungle Boy is probably the guy that they want to be the face of that faction. It's fine. Jungle Boy is extremely talented, but and Luchasaurus is a veteran. But you had Michael Stunt there, and now he's just gone. No word of example. No idea why. He's just gone. And Christian Cage is basically the third member of Jurassic Express, in a sense.
right. He went from being an Impact champion to now being part of a 6-man tag team match every week.
Makes no sense.
Like it's just certain
It's
things.
WCW 2.0, and I'm sorry if you're a big AEW fan. I enjoy AEW. Scals enjoys AEW, but this is how we're seeing it as veterans of wrestling, if you will, of watching the last 25 years of wrestling. We have seen this happen before. We're seeing it happen again. History has a way of repeating itself. And I hope for AEW that they realize their mistake before it's too late.
Tony Khan needs to stop talking. Like
Yeah, that too.
every chance he gets, he's talking. The wrestlers, every chance they get, they're talking, and they're always mentioning WWE. Stop worrying about WWE. Build your product. Build it up.
It
By
was
you doing that,
apparently,
that will talk enough against WWE. And
I'm
that's what they're
guessing,
not realizing.
I missed this on Dynamite this week, but apparently Daniel Bryan made a reference talking about WrestleMania. Like, you don't want that on your show. You don't want to be talking about another show's biggest show of the year on your show.
Uh, okay, we have some breaking news. Holy shit.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
WWE has released some more wrestlers.
Oh, speaking of released wrestlers, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
All right.
Um,
Let's go. Who are we going with here? Some live action here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hit Row.
Hit
All
Row is completely gone.
all of them. Top Dollar, Isaiah
Wow.
Swerve Scott, and Ashante Adonis. All gone. You
Wow.
have
They were just on a.
You have
Okay.
John Morrison,
Wow.
which kind of makes sense now that they released
I
Taya
see that
Valkyrie.
coming.
They've released Drake
Right.
Maverick, uh, Shane
For the
Thorne,
third time.
Shane Thorne. The one that everybody is finally going to be happy about, Jackson Riker, and Tegan Knox.
Wow.
Hold on,
I think the biggest hit there.
I think there's some more. Hold on. Uh, that's what I see so far. I don't see anybody else.
You really got to wonder what is actually happening right.
You want to know what's happening? I could tell you what's happening. They're gonna sell the company, and they're trying to liquidate
They have to be. They're liquidating assets.
and get down
Yeah.
to where they are, where they can run on, and then once they sell, I can guarantee you, people will get hired back.
Yeah. I don't know. This is weird. We've never seen this in our, well, at least my time watching this stuff.
WWE has signed so many people in the past that they were doing it to prevent others from going to other companies. Um, they are now past that point. They are getting to the point where they just want to keep their people and not really care about um,
The
preventing
indie guys
people.
that they signed.
Right.
Ugh. All right. Well, last and finally, I'd like to
I can't.
say thank God that Wyndham Rotunda did not show up at Full Gear, and that he is now working on a project for a horror movie, and I cannot wait to see this.
I can't. I can't.
As a huge Wyndham fan, I cannot wait to see what he does in this horror industry.
I can't believe they just
Hopefully,
released
he's
8
just
more wrestlers.
completely.
I can't believe they just released 8 more wrestlers. I can't. They're all main rosters. None of them are not. Um, I don't I don't know.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. But well, yeah,
I don't even know. I don't understand why they got rid of Hit Row. Like,
yeah, the Hit Row one doesn't really make all that much sense to me.
I don't know.
It is what it is. But we are hitting an hour here, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone over a few subjects and topics, and we hope you enjoyed what we had to say, our predictions, and thank our honorary John Cena tonight, aka Jared. He did great showing up for us tonight.
I just
Um,
I can't. I'm shocked.
I'm sure by the next time you're listening to this, Scals will have a full meltdown about Hit Row being released.
No, it's just not even them.
Um,
Like, it's just
I know it's just mind blowing that the fact that we just bought up that they released what 140 you said, so now
one
it's 148.
127.
Okay, and now you go eight, so that's 135 now.
That's 135. I now have to update.
And we were just talking about the release superstars too while this dropped.
I just I don't get it. I just can't. I'm just in shock.
All right. Well,
But
we'll
well,
discuss this off air, but
thank you guys for joining us tonight. I do appreciate it. Make sure to follow me. If you want, I
he's so
do.
lost he doesn't know what to say, guys.
Um, yeah, I really, I'm like just in a state of shock that there was 8 more rushes released tonight. 2 weeks after the last batch. So I don't know if this is gonna be something that's consistent. If it is, I feel sorry for all those wrestlers. I know most of them will probably bounce back on their feet because they are great at what they do. I just want to wish everybody a good evening, and we'll talk soon.
Oh, for the Americans, happy Thanksgiving. Pretty sure that's coming up.
Yeah, it's next week. So thank you for that shout out. I appreciate it. All right, guys, have a great night.